it's Megan McFadden from Mischievous Monsters. Today we are on day 6 of my vegan Puerto Rico travel guide. We are close to the end of our trip. It was not what I expected. So originally on our itinerary we were going to go to Orocovis. So that is in the mountains. It's known for Toro Verde, which is a humongous ziplining park. My dad's like, no, we're not doing that. Because one, we're not going to die in the mountains driving with these interesting drivers. And two, these road conditions aren't the best. So I'm like, okay, what should we do? Let's go to Manatí. So Manatí is known for lagoons and stuff. Their beaches were amazing. If you haven't seen my video yet about the Puerto Rican caves, you can watch it now or later. One of the caves we went to at Arecibo was called Cueva del Indio. So that's Indian cave. It had a lot of rocks and it had a lot of waves. It was kind of like that when we went to this Mar Chiquita, so it's like a little sea. So instead of having these humongous like death traps in the rocks, you're gonna have these very sharp, lovely rock forms. And instead of stepping into a really humongous hole, you can step into pools, ponds, and possibly like deep ends of like a swimming pool. So you need to be super careful. I scratched my leg a little bit, so luckily I had a first aid kit to cover that up, but I recommend bringing rock climbing gear or just pants and a little bit better shoes that can climb rocks. So I was saying rock climbing shoes, but that's what I felt like I was doing there. There's this beach right next to Mar Chiquita, and it was really pretty. I got a lot of great shells there, and then we went to lunch. It was at Coffee and Co. It had some nice wraps. My dad and I both enjoyed it. I also had a fruit platter. They speak pretty good English, so you don't have to worry about having to speak Spanish there. We attempted to go to Hacienda La Esperanza. It's like a plantation, and we were not allowed to go in. There was apparently reservations you're supposed to do online. We were not researching that well of, okay, we're just doing this in the spare of the moment. And apparently they're filming some hotshot movie with some famous female actor that they never mention the name, they're just in the movies. So instead of going to the plantation, we went to a beach that was right by there. And I was kind of concerned, okay, we shouldn't be pulling off on the side of the road, you never know. And somebody was already there taking pictures, and I was like, okay, fine, that's probably okay. And it was super pretty, and it was so sad because no one was there. A little bit down over there was another beach we went to after we drove a little bit, and it had a few people, but then it started to rain. So I did a lot of seashell hunting. I like to get shells from different places. I make sure no one's alive in there, because you know, every once in a while there's a hermit crab or something in it. And then we went to the Capitol. My dad likes to visit the Capitol when he's out of state, so we got this nice tour guide, and we had a great time learning about the history of Puerto Rico. Apparently the new Congress representative of Puerto Rico is working on a way to get more of this Puerto Rico Commonwealth thing officially figured out. And then we went to Viejo San Juan for a slight bit. We saw the beach right by the Capitol, and it was gross. It had so much litter. I am so surprised it was that nasty. And it mostly just had rocks at it, but it still had some nice collection of things to bring back home. I was just disappointed that I found a bunch of glass and styrofoam on the beach, what I thought was actual shells. Then we ate at the ice cream gelato place that we ate at on Monday. It's called Anita. So last time I ordered a mango with a little bit of mixed berry, and then I ordered strawberry this time, and it was pretty nice. And then on our way out of town, or on our way back to our Airbnb, we went to a vegan restaurant called 100% HP. I don't get what HP stands for, but somehow I convinced my dad to get food from this place. And then I noticed all these neighborhoods just seem very sketchy. You're in Iowa, like where I'm from. You see all this poverty, and I'm like, why is there a super rich house, and then a super poor house, then a mediocre house, then a rich house, then a condemned, burned down house? Apparently, even though there's a lot of poverty, there is not a lot of crime, which is a relief, but usually I associate poverty with crime and with extreme caution because you never know. I'd rather be safe than sorry. And then we came home, or back to our Airbnb, watched a movie. It was like the new Queen Latifah movie on Netflix. I don't get most movies. I feel like I'm just asking a million questions. But the main thing I got out of it was everyone doesn't make sense. And none of the things should have happened in the movie because no one has logic. That's just the general gist of a lot of the movies I've watched this week. Not just this one. Some things I've noted today. One, I am making the car super gross with my sand and my sunscreen fingerprints. I don't get why there aren't anything to wash off your feet, like a little hose or a hydrant. I'm just making the car filthy, and we don't have a hose to get things cleaned up before we return the rental car. I noticed there's a lot of signs in Puerto Rico saying you gotta wear a mask in your store or in general, but like a lot of the employees don't wear them, and then it's like never enforced. Like my dad and I haven't had to wear a mask once, but at the same time, in Iowa, we haven't been wearing masks for over a year, pretty much. And besides, like, the fair few that do, there's no requirements anymore. I don't get why a lot of these tourist places don't get people. Apparently, it's more popular to go to the beach on the weekends, but I feel like I go to all these tourist attractions and no one's there. Even when there are people there, it just feels like no one's there. I don't get why everything is so filthy. There's so much garbage in a lot of these places. We went to the parking lot in Mar Chiquita, and there's a bunch of bottles and cups and stuff in one little corner. I'm like, can't you just have a trash can or have someone clean up the garbage in the neighborhood? It's just very unattractive to do that. I feel like Puerto Rico has lots of potential for tourism. Even though they don't get it right now, they have so many great things, but they need to update some of their parks and have it just kept maintenance-wise better. Nightlife-wise, I get super concerned about people's safeties. I know not all poverty is not always associated with crime, but most people do associate it with crime. Something needs to change in order to make it more accessible long-term. With more tourism, there comes more money. With more money, comes more safety. Hopefully, the increase in wealth will better overall looks and appeal of the city and of the territory, but we'll see. Thanks for watching. Please subscribe to my YouTube channel if you haven't already. If you're interested in watching the full video, you can watch it up here, or you can find each day's link in the description below. Have a great day and safe travels.